Hello, hello. My name is Pius Mushiri Mugo, and I'm the Managing Director of Nabo Capital. What do I do at Nabo Capital? It's a very simple thing. We are in the business of making people wealthy. So welcome to my class in session on investing with purpose. Let's have some fun.
I love the conversation already. So insightful, so much value. I want to go back to the question that I asked. And that question is, you never put an age limit when you gave your example on investing.
No.
So, investing with purpose, who is it for? Who can invest with purpose? Is it for, actually, I just throw that to you.
Investing is not for some people or some organization. Investing is for everybody. And I keep saying again, investing is a survival skill. So investing with purpose is for everybody. A billionaire, somebody who is listening to me and lives in the slum, investing in purpose is for them, is for everybody. And we look at investing like building a house. If you're building a house, you start from foundation.
Yep.
Then you go to the walling, roofing, then you do you start doing the interior and any other thing that you want to do. But you must start from the foundation. Now, this is what I like about investing with purpose. Whether you're a billionaire or you come from the slum and you come to me, I'll ask you, if what you do today to earn a living was disrupted and it no longer it can no longer provide for you, how would your life look like? Can you sustain the lifestyle that you're used to today? And as long as you have active income,
The answer is no.
The answer is no. So we ask the question, how much do you need to survive if everything else that provides for you ceases? How much do you need to still live in the same neighborhood, drive the same car, go to the same clubs, have the same friends? How much do you need? Take your kids to the same school. How much do you need? And by the way, it's funny enough, even billionaires just tell me 100 to 200,000 shillings. Others, they will also have their goals. Someone from who is not as privileged will also have their number. Maybe 20,000 bob, or 30,000 bob, or 10,000 bob, whatever that number is. We make it our goal. How do we start a portfolio that will provide that 10,000 bob every month, that 100,000 bob every month? And that portfolio, we have a name for it. We call it lifestyle portfolio.
Let's break down this conversation. What is then a portfolio?
Thank you. That's a very good question. A portfolio is a combination of assets that we have put together that can generate the passive income that is necessary for you to be able to maintain your lifestyle or whatever goal you have for a very long period of time. So if you look at, for example, the family that I gave an example of my former colleague, there was a number we came up with. If we can have this number every month or every quarter when we need to pay for school fees, call it 200,000 bob. We can be able to educate these children until they finish, and they will still leave the inheritance untouched. And that's exactly what happened. That was an education for them. But now for a lifestyle portfolio is, if you need 100,000 to pay your bills, pay your rent, pay everything, we'll say, you probably need, 5 million, 10 million bob, whatever it is. What a combination of assets. Maybe we'll buy some treasury bills, we'll buy some bonds, whatever it is. That combination of assets that generate that cash flow is what we call a portfolio. It is your secret sauce.
It is what uses your principle to then create the
it's a combination of assets.
Yes.
Yes.
So Sticking to this portfolio.
So I can give an analogy.
Okay, give an analogy.
When you go to hospital and you're suffering from malaria, the doctor, you see you have a purpose. The purpose is to treat
The malaria.
malaria. You have symptoms of headache, and then there's the malaria itself. You may not be having appetite to eat. When you go to, when the doctor listens to, he puts together a combination of medicine, a combination of drugs that will sort out the headache, will sort out the appetite, and then will sort out the real issue of malaria.
Yes.
Those three drugs are a portfolio of drugs. But they sort out one big issue. So for us, when you come, your problem is what? Lifestyle. If anything, if things get disrupted, you can't survive. That is a problem we set our eyes on. So we put together a combination of things that will give you the income just enough for you to survive when your business is disrupted, or when you're told at work your services are no longer required. That's a portfolio.
I'm going to stick on this portfolio conversation because suddenly it's opened up my mind to the amount of different types of portfolios you can create.
Yes.
Thus, the amount of different people who can use portfolios. Let me give an example. If I'm in the diaspora and I know it's January, but I know in December I want to come to Nairobi, I want to go to Mombasa, I'll need about 300 Gs in cash. I want my tickets paid for, or even my tickets I'll pay for that. It's okay. Can a portfolio be created for that?
That is what investing in Papa is all about. There is no goal that I cannot help you to achieve. I even had a client who wanted to buy a Range Rover every 5 years? See, I hate driving old cars. So I want you to put together a portfolio that I can always buy a new Range Rover every 5 years. I sell the old one and I get a new one. So you say, how much does a Range Rover cost? It costs X amount of money. Okay, fine. So how much will you put in the portfolio every month? X amount of money. And by the 5th year, if a Range Rover costs 25 million, we'll have 25 million shillings ready to buy a brand new Range Rover. He won't even feel it, because we've been buying a Range Rover for 5 years without knowing. So if you want to go on a cruise, I had another group of women say, ever since they got to 50 years, every so often they go and do a cruise, all of them. So every 2 years. So they say, set up a portfolio for us. Every 2 years, we are guaranteed we are going on a cruise. Ticket is paid, the whole trip is booked, everything is booked, and nobody even feels any disruption in your day-to-day life, because we have been doing it for 2 years.
Oh.
So whatever goal you have, even through Chums, which is an app that we will discuss a little bit about, we even have a goal for someone to take their date on to a nice restaurant, a 5-day goal. I'm saving up, so like the people who are in campus, I want to take someone on a date next weekend. Start putting money every day for the next 5 days, or whatever time you have. And on that day, you come withdraw everything, you take her for a date, and you guys have a good time.
I've got to ask this one before I transition to the next question, because I'm loving this conversation. CTA is under a company called Moapi Entertainment. Moapi Entertainment has expenses that we pay constantly when we're doing a shoot like this. Venue, there's our good friend Izo equipment, there's all these different things that are needed in order for a shoot like this to happen. Moapi is not an individual. Moapi is an institution. Can institutions then create portfolios?
Absolutely. We do it every day. We have one organization that, just to give an example, We have one organization that came and said, you know what, we have this amount of money. We do not want to touch it. They actually sold a very good asset. See, now we have this amount of money. We don't want to touch this money, but we want you to use this money, create a stream of cash flows or passive income that can help us to pay our operating expenses every month.
Oh.
So, see, our operating expenses are 100 million every month, or 50 million, or 20 million. Say, okay, fine. Say, okay, we have this size of portfolio. What can it be able to do? How much money can we generate with it? We say, okay, we can actually generate 20 million a month because it's a sizable portfolio. It's not a big asset. So it's what? It's been like 5 years.
So this company doesn't work to pay salaries?
No.
We're talking profit from a day. I mean, the expenses are reduced crazily.
Whatever they do with their core business now is for growth. So they introduced this line called investment income. And that investment income takes care of their operating expenses. So even NABO, I remember just before COVID, we were doing something called 4DX, the 4 disciplines of execution. And this exercise, we asked ourselves, what is the one thing that if we did would guarantee our business survival for 100 years? And after a long debate, we came up with this idea, recurrent income.
That's true.
We need recurrent income. We need money that is coming into the business without necessarily our customers coming through the door.
Ooh.
So we said, we stopped looking at our revenues per year. We started looking at what are our revenues per month.
Yeah.
Then he said, if our revenues per month are
X amount,
say 50 million, we want our expenses per month not to be more than 30 million. Because then you create this cushion. So we call it RPM, revenue per month. So we said, if we are to boost our RPM, what do we need? And we said, there is a profit that we normally make. If we were to consolidate that profit and keep accumulating it, we'll have our own portfolio as NABO. So we start building a portfolio just for NABO. And the first thing that I wanted that portfolio to do is to be able to pay the salaries of all our employees every month.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of what we do in business, regardless of the ups and downs of business, if this portfolio can pay our employees, that's one big expense line taken care of.
And guaranteed motivation, at least from the...
Yeah, but it removes pressure from the business to perform regardless of environment. So we built a portfolio. And then March 2020 happens.
What?
COVID happens. You can't show up in the office. You cannot meet any customer. You cannot pitch. You cannot sell. And let me tell you, this portfolio came through for us. We never laid off anyone.
No way.
We never reduced anyone's salary.
No way.
In fact, we recruited some people during COVID. If it was not for that forethinking, COVID would have hit us very badly. You know what COVID did? COVID exposed the businesses. I'm paraphrasing. I'm just using another. Where they say you only know who is swimming naked when the tide goes.
Yep.
The businesses that depended on a customer to come to show up so they can pay for their lights and for their other bills, they were exposed by COVID. Those are the businesses that were retrenching, because if the customer never showed up, no shilling went into the bank account.
Pass, are you trying to tell me that businesses are in the job of creating a profit to build a portfolio.
Every business should have a portfolio and should have an investment income line. Because what do they do with these profits? They must create a portfolio where things can do, they can be able to create investment income line, and when future opportunities come, they can dip into this portfolio and seize opportunities. And then those opportunities generate more cash flows, and those cash flows continue enriching the portfolio.
In fact, forgive me.
So it's a cycle.
It shouldn't even be considered as profit. It shouldn't be taken from profit. It needs to be looked at like rent. Do you know how you look?
It is the same financial principles of individuals apply also to organizations.
Uh-huh.
We tell individuals a person must live within their means. Within their means means below their means. So that you have headroom.
Mm.
Organizations too must live within their means. They should not spend all their revenues. This cushion that is created, where does it go? It is not created just to sit in bank accounts.
Mm.
It is created so that you form portfolios, and those portfolios start generating investment income line as you look for more opportunities. And when you find these new opportunities or expansion programs that you get into, you dip into this portfolio without having to ask for your shareholders for more money, and then you boost more revenues, and then you create more cash flows, and then cash flows still continue pumping back into the portfolio. Yeah? So if I see a business that has investment income line, it draws my attention. Let me surprise you. Insurance companies, where do they make their money?
Mm.
It is a known thing that insurance companies make underwriting a loss or a break even.
Mm.
You just go look at the accounts. We are in first quarter of the year. Where insurance companies make money is investment income line. The best insurance, if I want to know which insurance company to go with, I look at the investment income line. That one is unlikely to disappoint me when my claim crystallizes. So even a business has purpose.
Mm. Yes.
So some businesses, they give us their portfolios to grow their shareholder wealth. So we continue growing it fast, and they only are left with just what they need. Others, they say, please manage this portfolio, and we'll be coming every month to withdraw some amount of money so that we can pay for our expenses. That business, imagine the kind of freedom we give them to take risks and experiment and do amazing things. They are operating with a completely different mindset, because they're not trying to capture customers to pay bills.
Mm.
They're trying to capture customers to solve real human pain points.
Mm.
Those businesses are positioned to completely blow away a customer, because they don't need the customer to survive. And the same thing to us. I always say, I'd love to go to a restaurant and be served by a waiter or waitress who does not need to be paid to survive.
Mm.
That waiter or waitress would serve me with the best smile, because they come there like, I love what I do because I meet amazing people. The kind of engagement that waiter will give you will be like, I want to come back and I want to be served by the same person. The mindset is different.
What is it that has prevented us from having this mindset? First of all, I'm very grateful that you're here sitting down and pulling down the veils from the eyes of people. Let me even just, that was more a statement than it is a question.
Yeah.
Where to start? Because I'm hearing this is for everybody. If you're in the diaspora, if you're an institution, if you're young, if you're old.
Actually, you asked me about the diaspora.
Yes.
We have customers in diaspora who tell us amazing things. I live in the US. I come to Kenya once in a year. I want when I come to Kenya to spend Kenyan shillings, not convert dollars into
Shillings.
So for a year or two, they're just building a portfolio.
And are they necessarily building this portfolio in shillings or?
In shillings.
Okay.
So when they're coming to Kenya, they say, I'll be in Nairobi 2 weeks from today. Please fund my account with 300 or 400 or 500,000 bob. When they land, they find 300, 400 or 500 bob in their bank account. And that is what they use when they're here. They buy presents for people, they gift people, they do all manner of things. Zero pressure. Zero pressure. Others, they say, I support my parents, 20,000 bob every month. Can you create a portfolio that can be able to support can be paying this 20,000 every month? We create a portfolio and we start paying whoever the beneficiary is, or 20,000 shillings, maybe their mother, their father. You know what that does? It completely changes the dynamics, because this mother or father or parents who are dependent on this person who is in diaspora, we delink the two. And if something happens, maybe the person in diaspora loses their job, or something happens that is unfortunate, it means their loved one continues to enjoy the same benefits that they were enjoying even before. So you don't create dependencies. You help the people you want to help to be independent and not to be dependent on you regardless of circumstances. And that's what investing with purpose is all about. So the reason why people are not doing it is because our mindset of investing is the old way. How much return is Nabo Capital generating? Which fund manager is generating the best returns? Which is a big thing going on? Bitcoin, people are buying land. People are just investing haphazardly. But investing, and I want everybody to remember this, is like building a house. You must start from the foundation. Foundation means when the worst happens, where will you fall up to here, or will you fall to the ground? The lowest you should ever fall is where you maintain your same lifestyle that you have today. That's the lowest you should ever fall. You know, Richie, there's so many things that go on. I every time I drive into town very early in the morning and I see people sleeping on the streets of Nairobi or under the bridges, covered in a sack or something, I ask myself, how come this person does not care about his security? Because you cannot even imagine one night outside. And I realized, do you know why? When your lifestyle falls below a certain level, you lose your human dignity. And when you lose your human dignity, you no longer care about security. In fact, you acquire like animal instinct. You know, you lose human dignity. Investing should start with that foundation to make sure you will never ever lose your human dignity. You will be clothed to you and your children. You will have food on the table. You will have a roof on top of your head. Those basic things, whether you're a billionaire or whether you live in the slums, you must take care of them. And it doesn't take a miracle to do them. So forget returns.
Yes.
Let's make sure if the worst happens, you will never fall below the minimum
and if the
dignity that you deserve.
And if the best happens,
and if
you're going to have so many portfolios.
And now there are more portfolios.
To enable you to achieve all these different visions and dreams that you have.
Freedom.